Hey everyone, it's June. My husband Gabriel and I are collaborating on this story, but before we dive in, I need to share a rather unpleasant experience. My first encounter with Gabriel's parents, Luis and Lena. Let me fill you in on what they had to say. Brace yourselves. I can't believe you date someone like Gabriel, a real underachiever. This woman has no redeeming qualities. She merely works a desk job in a small office. How on earth will she provide us with a good life? Mom, I love June, and she's the only one for me. I don't care about her income or job. I never cared about those things. Well, we care, Gabriel. We've made that clear from the start. If you paid any attention, you'd know. Listen, Gabriel, if this girl doesn't bring more to the table, she can't be our daughter-in-law. We won't approve. Find someone else. No, Mom, June is the one for me. I'm going to marry her. I had the entire proposal planned, and now you've ruined everything. I was stunned as this conversation unfolded. Yes, I was surprised about Gabriel planning to propose. We had been dating for 3 years, and while I hoped for a proposal, I didn't expect it to happen so soon. However, what left me truly shocked was Luis and Lena's alarming behavior toward our relationship. Gabriel had warned me about them, saying, June, I've met your dad. He's great. But let me be clear, my parents are not good people. I was naive, not comprehending how cruel and selfish parents could be. While Gabriel financially supported his parents, he distanced himself from them, revealing that they were motivated by greed, always pushing him to marry rich. The day I met his parents, I realized how true his words were. Despite their protests, Gabriel proposed, and we got married. Although Luis and Lena threatened to boycott the wedding, they eventually attended, thanks to Gabriel's desperate pleas. He didn't have much family on his side and wanted them there, even though they made it clear they didn't approve. I later discovered that Gabriel had convinced them to attend by portraying my family as financially stable. While they reluctantly came, their motives were evident. They made it a point to remind me. Just so you know, June, we still don't approve of this marriage. Gabriel is a successful man, and we expected more from him. He really disappointed us by not marrying rich. We wouldn't have come if we thought you had nothing. Thank God your father at least has something to his name. I hope you don't forget us and our gracious presence today when you finally get the house inheritance. Guys, I'm getting married today. My father is healthy and fine, and there's absolutely no reason for you two to even mention an inheritance today. I stormed off, distancing myself from them after hearing their audacious remark. My father was my only living family, and hearing such comments on my wedding day made me sick. I couldn't believe the audacity of Luis and Lena to demand a share of my money. I chose not to inform Gabriel about this incident, not wanting to spoil his day, and knowing how difficult it was for him to cut ties with his parents. Unfortunately, things took a downward turn from there. Despite Gabriel and I being happy together, his parents were always meddling in our finances. Luis and Lena persistently pestered us about the exact worth of my father's assets. We never gave them a satisfactory answer, yet their embarrassing and entitled behavior continued. For years, I endured their greedy ways, putting up with their constant demands for more money. They fabricated excuses and guilt-tripped us when we tried to refuse. Their comments about my inheritance never ceased, but I chose to ignore them. The situation hit rock bottom when my father was diagnosed with aggressive cancer, and his time was limited. Living far away, we flew to visit him a couple of times. Luis and Lena were displeased, saying we shouldn't waste money on frequent visits, since my father was in hospice and wouldn't live long anyway. I vehemently disagreed, asserting that visiting my dying father was not a waste of money. What we did with our finances was our choice, and Luis and Lena had no right to dictate. Their lack of support and covert requests not to visit my father infuriated me. Thankfully, Gabriel stood up for me and shut down their insensitive conversation. From that day onwards, I was determined to teach them a lesson once I was in a better place. I vowed to show them their place. My father passed away around 3 months after his diagnosis, and I was devastated. I really didn't want to lose him that fast. Witnessing his declining health, I knew it was time. Despite the difficulty, Gabriel was my rock throughout the entire time. He held my hand while I flew to my father's town to arrange his funeral. Louis and Lena were only blowing up my phone, demanding to know about my inheritance and how much I planned to spend on the funeral. I was disgusted with those messages, and so was Gabriel. However, we didn't do anything at the time, both agreeing that they would be served their just desserts after we returned home from the funeral. As predicted, Louis and Lena showed up as soon as Gabriel and I returned home. After entering the house, they started to hound us with questions. So the funeral is finally over. God, I've been dying to know what you got in the inheritance. Your father must have left you the house. What are you even talking about, Lena? How does my inheritance concern you in any way? I just came back from my father's funeral. And this is what you asked. Oh, please, June, don't be such a spoiled sport. Ever since Gabriel married you, we've been wondering why he did it. I mean, you don't have a great job, and neither are you beautiful. What did he ever see in you? Me and Louis guessed that it must be because of money. Mom, what is wrong with you? How can you even insult me and my wife like that? We married each other for love. I have told you this countless times. At least have the decency not to bring it up today. Gabriel, there's no reason to be so dramatic. We're simply asking her a question. Your wife can just answer us and satisfy our curiosity. We don't mind if you marry June for money. In fact, we would be happy to know that you've bagged the great prize. You are truly horrible parents to accuse your own son of being a gold digger. You two are insane. I wonder how a great man like Gabriel was born to such disgusting people. Enough with the small talk, June. Tell us what you got in your inheritance. This is the day I was waiting for. Your father must have left you something. Gabriel told me that he lived in a big house. You could just tell now and buy us a house instead. We will make great use of the money. Besides, we are your parents now. Hearing this made my blood boil, and I seethed with rage while Gabriel looked at his parents in disbelief. Even he couldn't comprehend the fact that his parents could be so greedy and selfish. My father wasn't even dead for a month, and they were already planning to spend my inheritance on themselves. Hell, they even started to call themselves my new parents. At that point, I knew I had to do something. For years, I had put up with them for Gabriel's sake. But today was the day for a change. I wanted to show Gabriel just how bad his parents were, I said. Actually, my dad didn't have the house in his name when he died. I'm sorry to tell you that he did own that house for a long time, but he had to let it go for reasons. What? So you're telling us that your father didn't even own his house anymore? No, like I said, he owned it a long time ago. He had to let go of the house very recently, so no, I did not get the house or any inheritance, as they say. Oh my God, so your father was a poor man after all. I knew you were too cheap to be wealthy. Your father couldn't even keep his house till the end. That poor man died with no house under his name. Leave our son, as you're good for nothing. Mom, our marriage isn't over just because she didn't get an inheritance. You can't just ask her to leave me because of a stupid reason like that. Don't speak over us, Gabriel. We won't allow you to continue this marriage anymore. You have disappointed us by marrying into a poor family. You didn't once think about how you could keep your parents happy. I'm ashamed to have a son like you. June, I'm sure you must have trapped my son into marrying you. People like you can use cheap tricks to lure men. Your final plan was to cut us off and enjoy my son's money alone. Well, guess what, June? I won't let that happen. Louis and Lena started to harass Gabriel to give me a divorce and leave. They told him that he should marry a rich girl so that my in-laws could live the life of luxury they always wanted. Gabriel was getting upset and started to break down. I knew that I had to take the opportunity to help him make a decision. Gabriel, are you going to let your parents do this to us? I have put up with their gold-digging ways for a long time now. I didn't open my mouth because you felt guilty cutting them off. Are you still going to continue to keep them in our life? I don't think we can come back from this. June, I've had enough as well. Mom, Dad, today you have shown me just how bad you are. For years, you have used me to fulfill your dreams. I won't tolerate this anymore. Don't be stupid, Gabriel. This girl would influence you and take you away from your family. We are doing this for your own good as well. We didn't spend money on you so that you can go do charity for someone else. You need to divorce your wife and start afresh. There is still time for you to get a rich wife. We will help you. This time you have made too many mistakes on your own. No, I won't leave my wife because she didn't get an inheritance. I'm done being a puppet in your hands. I will stay with June. You two won't be allowed in my life anymore. What will you do by keeping June in your life? This is not what we ever wanted. She's totally unworthy of you. If you stay in this marriage, we don't want anything to do with you anymore. We won't help you when she robs you and leaves you destitute. Seeing Lena and Louis's horrible behavior, I finally decided to reveal the truth to them. I knew that telling them about my true net worth would make them beg and plead at my feet. I wanted to go all out on them. I wanted Gabriel not to regret his decision in any way, so I said, "There will be no need for that, guys. I don't need to rob Gabriel and take his money. I have plenty of money on my own, and I will take care of Gabriel just fine without your help. Look who's talking. You don't have to lie to us to make yourself look better, June. We know the truth. Yes, the truth is that you are the daughter of a poor man, and you don't work a good enough job to make lots of money. In a few months, you will go after Gabriel's money once you are destitute." Well, actually, I am not a poor man's daughter. I have 50 million in my bank account. No, I didn't earn it from my job. Rather, I got it from my father. That is impossible. Your father didn't have anything in his name. You said that yourself. Don't try to fool us, June. We can see through your lies. It won't work for us. We will make sure you divorce our son and leave him to us. I smiled at them and then looked at Gabriel. He was still looking very upset, but gave me the signal to go ahead. He knew me inside out, and so he knew what was coming. I opened my bank account and showed them my bank balance. Louis and Lena took one look at it, and their eyebrows shot up to the sky. They looked at each other and said, "No, no, no, this is impossible. You must have fabricated these bank statements. You said you didn't get an inheritance. How? You even said that your father didn't own his house till the end. Where did this money come from?" What I didn't tell you was the fact that my father owned a big ranch where he lived. He sold the ranch and the house before he died. He gave me an early inheritance before signing himself into hospice. He didn't want me to use my own money for his care. He wasn't like you two. Louis and Lena couldn't believe what they saw. Even my words didn't sound true to them. So they asked Gabriel for the truth. When he confirmed what they saw, they went quiet for a minute and looked at each other again. Then suddenly, they changed their tune completely and said, "Oh, this is such great news. Here I was thinking that my son made a huge mistake. You should have told us sooner about your money. Yeah, we got riled up for nothing. Your father did well for yourself, June. I'm sure you'll make good use of that money. Now, like I said, we're like your own parents. Since this issue has been solved, there's no need for you to leave, Gabriel. You should have said something to us. We doubted your capabilities for nothing. You did marry well, son. I'm so happy today." With the expression Gabriel was making, I knew that my work was done. He would take care of the rest, so I held back my cuss words and let him do the talking. I trusted my husband to make the right choices, and he didn't disappoint me. Gabriel was fuming and started to scream at his parents. He said, "You still have the audacity to stand here and keep talking to us. Hell, how do you still expect June to pay for your comfort? You were hounding us to get divorced. And now you suddenly claim that she's family. How could you do this? We didn't know her net worth back then, Gabriel. She hid the truth from us. How are we supposed to know that she's actually rich? Yeah, June, we'd apologize for assuming the worst. You did surprise us. Anyway, now that you have an apology, can we move past this already?" "No, absolutely not. There is no way I'm forgiving you two for what you did today. I just got back from burying my father, and you two didn't even let me grieve in peace. I will never forget or forgive this. I think it has been enough already. Since you two think so lowly of me, there is no reason for me to keep you in my life. Today, I will protect myself and my wife from your toxic selves. Get out of my house and don't even think about coming back. From next month onwards, you are on your own. I won't be helping you out financially anymore. You don't deserve any kind of help after today. After Gabriel said that, Luis and Lena went absolutely ballistic on us. They also kept begging us and pleading with us not to cut them off. Neither Gabriel nor I paid any attention to their requests. In fact, Gabriel was so mad that he threatened to call the police if they did not leave our house. Soon after they heard the threats, both Luis and Lena left our property but continued to blow up our phones with calls and texts. We blocked their number before reminding them that we will press charges if they don't stop harassing us. For the next few days, Gabriel completely dealt with his family while I grieved my father properly. I was finally in a peaceful setting where I could reflect on my childhood memories and try to remember my father for the good times. He truly was an amazing man. As soon as he understood that I didn't want to move back south, he sold his property so that I didn't have to worry about it. He didn't even want me to spend money on his medical bills, so he used some of the sale money to pay for hospice. He was truly a great parent, and I still miss him a lot. On the other hand, Gabriel was also grieving the loss of his family, but for other reasons. Yes, he was finally free from his toxic family, but some people were guilting him about abandoning them. Those people did stop hounding him when Gabriel told them the full story. Now, everyone who knows Luis and Lena is disgusted with them. The duo still tried to contact us even after we blocked their numbers and changed our locks. We are contemplating taking out restraining orders if they don't stop soon. Meanwhile, I have recently found out that I am pregnant. I'm sad that my father couldn't be a part of my child's life, but me and Gabriel are really enjoying this surprise and preparing ourselves to have a little bundle of joy in our arms soon.